and welcome back to my channel. For anybody who doesn't already know me, my name is Kat. I have been doing a lot of travel over the recent few years, but for the last 6 months I have been living back home in Brighton in the UK. Now, if there is one thing my friends know about me, it is that I am desperate to live in Spain one day. So I have been doing some intense research, and today I am going to give you a full insight into the cost of living in Granada, Spain. For anyone that isn't aware, Granada is in the south of Spain, not too far from Malaga or Seville, and is fairly comparable in cost to any Spanish city other than Madrid and Barcelona. Just before we start, to give some context to our pricing, let's say you are a single person looking for a 1-bedroom in a popular location somewhere near the old town in the city centre. Right, I think that's about all we need to get ourselves started, so here we go. As always in my cost of living videos, we are starting with the big one, the rent. For most of us, rent is the largest sum of money that we spend in one go each month, and for the Spanish, it is no different. Just like in the UK, in Spain, the rent is billed monthly, and you can expect the rent for a 1-bedroom flat in a fairly popular location to set you back around 800 euros per month. Now, obviously, if you're looking a little bit further away from the centre or in a slightly less expensive area, you could definitely find something a bit cheaper than that. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just thought, oh, I'll just quickly check how much that is in pounds. Probably like 800 euros, maybe it's like 730 pounds or something. I'm shocked. 666 pounds. Get me to Spain right now. And if you were in a couple, you could split that rent. That is way too good to be true. That's unreal. Next up, council tax, or in Spain as it's known, IBI, or I guess maybe they call it IBI. I don't think it's exactly the same as council tax, but it's a kind of very equivalent fee. So I had a little dig into this, see how much it might cost us, and it is fantastic news, I must say. If you are renting, you do not pay this charge. The landlord pays it for you. What a dream! That sounds like a much more sensible suggestion to me. They own the property. Why don't they pay the council tax? Ugh, landlords. Right now in Brighton, I'm actually paying £137 a month on council tax. So that, on top of the cheap rent, would be an amazing saving. Okay, moving on, we are talking utilities, gas, electricity, water, etc. It depends on how liberal you are with your water use, your electricity, whether you want the heating on all the time, whether you never really turn it on, the aircon in the summer. It depends a lot on personal use. If you feel like you're an average utilities user, spender, then we're talking around 80 euros a month for bills. Now, I don't think that's particularly anything to write home about, but it's certainly a lot cheaper than in the UK. In January, we spent £300 on, we don't have any gas, so it's just electricity. So that's £150 each. And here we are talking about Granada, where it's 80 euros, which is probably about 60 quid. If you're wondering why my cost is so high, it's because I have an electric boiler, so it is much more expensive than gas. Okay, next up we are talking phone bill. Now finally we come to a cost that is fairly comparable to what you would pay in the UK. There are a few major phone companies in Spain, namely Movistar, Orange and Vodafone, are 3 very popular ones. But obviously, just like any country, there are others. There are other smaller competitors. And so of course you can shop around and find the best price and the best package for you. But if you're looking for a fairly average 10GB deal, then you're probably going to be spending around 15 to 20 euros a month, which, yeah, is not far off what you pay in the UK. In fact, maybe the UK is even slightly cheaper. Now we are talking about the all-important Wi-Fi, which on average is going to set you back around 25 euros per month, which I think is lovely news, because I don't think you're going to find anything cheaper than that in the UK. I feel like that was the price of Wi-Fi, a really cheap Wi-Fi deal back when I was at uni, and that was 10 years ago now. I actually kind of feel like I need to stop this video because it's going to make me just move to Spain by the end of the month. Just a quick interruption, if you are still watching this video, please let me know by clicking the thumbs up button so I can continue making more and more videos in the future. Next up, groceries. Now, anyone who lives in the UK, Australia, New Zealand will know the pain of the weekly grocery shop and how much it drains your bank account. It is absolutely absurd, the price of the produce at the moment in these countries, and the produce isn't even that good, like especially in the UK. The fruit and veg just completely tasteless. But if there is one thing I know about Spain, it is that the produce, the fresh fruit and veg, is chef's kiss. I dream of Spanish red peppers daily. Anyway, the important number you've been waiting for, the average cost of a weekly shop in Spain is going to set you back around 140 euros a month. Wowza, 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 triple wowza for you. Now, something to consider there is, whilst there are big supermarkets in Spain where you can go and get all of your produce in one go, the Spanish way of life typically is a little bit more local shopping and people going to the local market to get their fruit and veg, or their favourite little bakery down the road to get their bread, and less kind of all one big weekly shop in the supermarket, because that's not where you get the best, most delicious divine red peppers. You get them from the market. You also get better prices at the market, better food, better prices, better produce overall if you do kind of little shops here and there, and shop local, which is great in Spain because a lot of the produce can be produced within the country as well. So perhaps 140 euros a month is based on shopping around, going to finding your local market and finding the best value produce there. And maybe the cost will be slightly higher if you're shopping in the supermarket, and because you just do always pay a price for convenience. But 140 to 160 euros a month, I think, is a fantastic supermarket shop budget. Next up, gym membership. So along with your SIM contract, this is a price that is pretty comparable to the UK. You're looking at spending around 40 to 50 euros a month on gym membership. The Spanish in general, I think, put less importance on the look of things, like the aesthetic of things. And so some of the gyms look a little bit more dated, the machinery all looks dated. I'm sure it all works perfectly, but if you really want the kind of fresh, modern look to your gym, you might have to search a little bit further, a little bit wider, and pay maybe a little bit more. But somewhere up to 50 euros is a safe bet for how much you'll be spending on a gym. And last but not least, public transport. In Granada, you can buy a monthly public bus ticket. There aren't really trains within the city, just trains that take you out of the city. But within the city, there's a really good bus network, and to get a monthly pass for the buses will cost you under 30 euros. What? 10 out of 10 for public transport costs, I would say. Congratulations, Granada. Okay, that is all of our fixed monthly costs covered, and in a second I'm going to bring up the total, but it is obviously, when we're talking about the cost of living, it's important to also consider your income. If you are a Spanish citizen already living in Granada with a Spanish salary, then you're probably looking at something slightly better in terms of a quality of life than we have in the UK. However, it will be more comparable to your outgoings. But if you are thinking of moving to Spain and you are going to work perhaps on the digital nomad visa, or you're going to be self-employed and still be working and earning what you do in the UK, then you can certainly expect to be feeling super comfortable with your finances whilst you are there. And that is exactly what I plan to be doing, fingers crossed, in the future. So our total monthly outgoings as a single person in a one-bed flat in a fairly popular area of the city of Granada in the south of Spain is going to cost you 1,130 euros, including rent. Oh my goodness. And can we just appreciate that if you are with a partner there, so you're sharing a 1-bed flat, you can take off 300 euros from that, which brings you to 830 euros a month for everything. For everything. I currently pay that just for my rent. I need to go to Spain. Thank you so much for coming to watch my video this week. If you found it helpful, please click the thumbs up button. It helps me spread the video far and wide. And leave a comment. Let me know your feedback. Let me know which country or city you would like me to check out the cost of living for next. I will see you next week with another video, and goodbye.